Just a few seconds.
Hello, hello. Good afternoon and good morning for the ones who are waking up. We are here global. We are back again on stage. I know it was a break, but we're going to use this break for a very reasonable guest here with us. And we are very happy to have Governor Kivutha Kibwana here with us, and from the Makueni County.
Hello,
hello. Us here. And thank you for really making time to be with us. I think we are being broadcasted also in Kenya. We are also everywhere globally here. And I'm calling out here from Germany. We are very happy to have you here on stage at the Kenya Diaspora Homecoming Convention. And welcome. I want to welcome you. Let me know if you can hear me so that we take over and hear your message for today.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. And thank you.
Fantastic. Welcome so much. And I'll let you get started so that our people can't wait to listen. And everybody who is listening to us, go ahead, ask your questions on the chat, and we'll be happy to ask questions after this. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm really excited to be in this homecoming. And although it's a diaspora homecoming, it is indeed like a homecoming of all of Africa. Because we are having this conversation, those who are abroad and those who are back at the continent, and it's a first. I think in the conversation since yesterday, it's clear that the diaspora element is a very critical element for the continent. And for many countries, including Kenya, for example, the remittances and also the investments from diaspora often are, of a value higher than even what we export, whether it is tea, it is coffee, so that in a country you can get money from the diaspora, remittances and so on, being actually the greatest foreign exchange earner. And so sometimes we don't accept the value of this contribution even before we go to ideas. But the money itself, we don't accept this contribution, and as a result, we may not treat the diaspora fairly. And I think that's one very great point. If it can be grasped all over the continent, that you are very valuable from the diaspora, and therefore the policies and the governments and so on need to treat you well in policy, in everything. Just even like the way we treat the development partners, I think that would be a very good starting point. My focus was really how can the diaspora invest in a subnational level, like Makueni County in Kenya. There are 47 counties in our devolved system, in our decentralized system. So how can people invest? And this becomes very, very important because at the center sometimes there's a lot of investment, and in the periphery, in the rural areas, in the smaller urban areas and so on, one could say in terms of investment, some of these places are reasonably virgin, and therefore there is a lot of opportunity. For us in Kenya, devolution has shown that very rapidly the headquarters of these areas, agriculture and a lot of opportunities are coming up. I think, like in Makueni, we have a directorate of the diaspora, so that at a subnational level, there is this clear recognition of the value of the diaspora, so that there is a directorate to deal with the diaspora issues. Also in that directorate is volunteerism, but there is a bit of target of our diaspora, whether it is outside Makueni in Kenya or outside Makueni abroad, so that we relate with chapters in the USA, we relate with a chapter in UK, although our relationship with the UK one needs to be, we need to do more work with that particular one. We have a policy at the level of the subnational government of diaspora, a diaspora policy. And of course, in the national level, that happened earlier. But these are to underscore how we think that the diaspora is a very important part of our going forward as a county. And actually, even when we are doing budgets, we try to get views, or when we are doing our plans, we try to get views from our diaspora so that whatever it is that we are planning for the county can be enhanced, because a lot of people abroad are also very well schooled, they are very experienced, they are exposed, and they can assist. A lot. I think it is important for us to keep on identifying areas of investment so that we have like some round table, because even today, and this can happen at the sub-national level, it can happen at the national level, so that the areas of investment, you know, the policies, the laws, the regulations, all that can be discussed. So that those who want to invest have comfort in terms of knowing where, you know, to invest and what to expect. And I think for me, instead of just telling people invest here, invest there, and so on, let there be discussion so that they are clearer on the opportunities. Something that through our directorate we have tried to do is to create the possibility of a mechanism where if you have investments, the county government can watch for you and supply you information. Sometimes, you know, relatives or people you have asked to look after your investments, sometimes they may not be forthright. So we are trying to establish that mechanism, and I think it's something that can happen even at national levels, so that it is possible for you to have a second eye, so to speak. You know, you ask for information, and then you can be assisted so that you don't, you know, come and find that what you have been doing, people have been kind of cheating you. And again, I think at the subnational level, just like at the national level, it is possible to have a one-stop, you know, licensing, so that all the licenses you need, whatever you need, you get the advice you need, and as a result, when that happens, then you don't have to like this question of rent seeking, or, you know, question of people telling you come back tomorrow and all that kind of stuff. So that happens. And the issues of land, that's where sometimes the diaspora, they get cheated. People sell land to you which is not their land, and so on. So again, at the national level, it is possible for a county government, even at the national level, there should be that assistance, so that you are helped through the stages, and you are told whether this land is available, or the person who is trying to sell it, you know, it's true or not. And of course, when you have like investment in housing and so on, and you need land, or agriculture and you need land, again, one can talk to the subnational governments, so that you can see in terms of those investments that you can also get helped with some land, and it is clear the reasons and so on, that this investment requires a bit of support. Like if it's housing, it's almost social entrepreneurship, and sometimes you can get land from the sub-counties and for agriculture and so on. And particularly when you do things where you involve the ordinary people, so that they can learn from whatever you are doing. I think we need, in terms of marketing, because we do many things here, but the markets are abroad, even in terms of being advised on what standards are needed so that one can do work abroad, one can sell things abroad. That's another aspect where with your chapters abroad, with our African governments, even the subnational ones, there can be that continuous dialogue. And even in terms of marketing and so on, you are able to assist. There's a wealth of information, of expertise, whether it is you know, knowledge, skills, technology, and all that, very educated people and so on. And so in this virtual world we have, an engagement can make you actually help with those ideas, those new ideas, so that as we do our government, as we, you know, at the national, local level, we can be able to benefit, whether it is through a consultancy, even if part of it is pro bono, and those new ideas reach Africa. fast, and therefore we can innovate. We can, do those great things. It is possible even for people to volunteer when they are abroad, and they can volunteer by virtually. We can get kids. We say we link up kids with, so and so, and that helps us. And for citizenship, as I conclude, because I was told that's about 10 minutes. This question of double citizenship, I think it's an important aspect, and countries require to assist you so that you can benefit from both here and both abroad, if the jurisdictions abroad allow that. And when it comes also to voting, it should be made easier so that your voice can be heard in your countries, and therefore, whether it is in Kenya, whatever other country, the diaspora is allowed to vote. And in the recent elections in USA, it was clear that people can post, their ballots. It is easy today for people to participate, so that your Kenyan citizenship, your citizenship of any other African country, is still respected. And I think there is a way in which we can dialogue. We can see, because of the remittances that you bring, and because of the investments that you do through them, whether, for example, in Makueni, we are doing a lot of value addition in agriculture. We have, like a fruit processing plant. We have green grams, and all green grams plant, and so on. These are areas now we are beginning to seek investments, because as a county government we started them, but we don't believe that we should continue doing business because governments don't do that. Sometimes you just begin something, you trigger it, and then you allow the private sector to take over. And we would like a conversation with the diaspora so that people can see what they can do in the agriculture space in terms of value addition. Housing is something that is very important, because most of the counties, there wasn't a lot of housing. So that's another very important area. And I think it is in the context of what I said about identifying areas of investment, having a round table, so that people are able to exactly know what they will do. And I think because of the remittances that you bring to the continent, there should be negotiations about tax breaks, so that certain things, you do them easy in your investment, because you are really bringing, a lot of money. And like in these COVID times, perhaps even the diaspora is doing much more in terms of helping families, helping in terms of investment money and so on, than our national governments, than our subnational governments. And surely there should be recognition of that particular effort, including when you twin us with people abroad, whether it's the private sector, whether it is universities, whether it is governments, to do creative things together. And finally, like we have had the situation in Makueni, where some diaspora investment got into problems because somebody, without consultation, did not realize that an investment was the land was legal, but they thought that the land had not been legal, and there was a problem with that. And as a government, we are committed to make sure that all the laws protect the investments of the diaspora, all the laws are supportive, and regulations and so on, because without the rule of law, of course, people will not be able to do what they need to do to advance their countries. And therefore, I am really very pleased to be in this forum, and this is the way to go. You are just another country abroad, and so as another country abroad, we welcome you, so that we work together and we take our continent. There are many things which have been discussed about the free trade that we want to do together, the unity that even Gaddafi was, thinking about, and Kwame Nkrumah and Nyerere, those earlier days, and even the questions of really the rule of law, the human rights, the democratization, so that our country is able to go where the tigers, went, the Korea, the Japan, and so on, because it's possible. But then there is leadership to take care of, and there is the question of integrity to take care of, and those are works in progress that we can do together, and the diaspora should really be insistent on us who are here getting it right, so that even people can easily come back home. They can work here in government, in private sector, everywhere, because there's a better opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. And yes, as you say, diasporans are the ones to be encouraged to come back home, and we are indeed ready to get into coming to Kenya and investing as well. Thank you so much, Governor, Professor, and Kivutha Kibwana. And I'm going to check if we have any questions from the audience that are there, and if there's any question from your side, we will, but if not, we are going to look forward to interacting with you in the future. And I welcome everybody else who is here on the stage. Thank you for coming to listen to this presentation, and we are looking forward to working with you in the near future. Thank you so much.
Asante sana, thank you very much, and I wish this meeting well.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.